The NASCAR world exploded after Dale Earnhardt Jr. unleashed a verbal assault on Ross Chastain that left absolutely no room for interpretation. The Hall of Famer didn't just criticize Chastain's Chicago street race performance, he completely obliterated him on his podcast. What triggered this nuclear reaction? A catastrophic misunderstanding that turned a racing incident into pure chaos. The Chicago street course delivered another wild spectacle on July 6, 2025. Multiple wrecks, a 7-car pileup, and one incident that had Dale Jr. seeing red. The race generated $128 million in economic impact for 2024. But money couldn't buy the drama that unfolded between Joey Logano and Ross Chastain. Lap 63 changed everything. Austin Cindric locked up his rear brakes heading into Turn 1, creating a chain reaction that would make Domino's jealous. Kyle Larson and Ryan Preece bore the initial impact. Larson's car ricocheted directly into Chastain's number, one Chevy, sending him spinning toward the tire barrier. Here's where the story gets interesting. Chastain bounced off that wall like a pinball. He didn't assess the situation. He didn't think twice. The Trackhouse Racing driver grabbed a gear and immediately targeted Joey Logano, believing the 3-time champion had caused his wreck. Wrong move, dead wrong. One corner later, Chastain delivered a calculated bump to Logano entering Turn 2. The contact sent the number, 22 Penske driver straight into Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Both cars spun out of contention. Chastain! He clawed his way back to finish 10th. Logano limped home in 11th. The reigning champion's radio exploded with pure rage. Ross better get the fraud information right before he goes and wrecks somebody. There are 6 cars behind me wrecking into me, and then he destroys me from 4 back. That motherfucker. Dale Earnhardt Jr. watched this unfold and couldn't contain himself. On the Dale Jr. Download podcast, Jr. delivered a scathing assessment that left Chastain's reputation in tatters.
Logano Chastain incident. Ross Chastain... Ross Chastain
wrecked,
I guess, destroyed, Logano and Stenhouse. And now I bet Ross feels pretty crummy having seen a replay of of how that all went down. Hilarious. The
Hall of Famer wasn't finished. He painted a vivid picture of Austin Cindric's catastrophic mistake.
And we played the replay, and the cars, he's hauling ass into Turn 1, and the rear tires are locked up.
Yes, they are.
And it was just like Kyle Busch at the wet in
Mexico.
Yeah, but there wasn't no excuse. And it's like that car's going, and he's like, oh, and no one in front has any idea what's coming.
Junior's commentary channeled the iconic Max Verstappen meme, complete with sound effects. The mockery was surgical, precise, devastating. Dale Jr. then delivered the line that perfectly captured Chastain's entire racing philosophy.
I saw the 22 wreck, and I saw Ross wreck him, but it was just, I don't know, man. I don't know how to. I was sitting there watching this, and I'm going, and then when it all got finished, and we get another half a lap into the race, I'm like, Ross is 7th. Like, Ross is still
still fine.
He came out of that completely fine. The most Ross Chastain thing ever, right, is for him to go down into Turn 1 and get bowled, get bowled into the barrier, bounce off, wreck a couple guys, come out of Turn 2.
That quote became instant NASCAR legend. Junior perfectly summarized Chastain's aggressive style: create chaos, survive the mess, and somehow emerge unscathed while others pay the price. The pattern was undeniable. Chastain gets wrecked. Chastain retaliates. Chastain finishes ahead of his victims. Rinse and repeat. The drama didn't end with the checkered flag. Logano stormed down pit road, marching directly to Chastain's car. Video footage captured the tense confrontation. Logano threw his hands up in the classic "what was that?" gesture. Chastain kept his back to the camera, avoiding direct eye contact. The post-race exchange was heated. Logano revealed a crucial detail. He admitted he wrecked me on purpose. He admitted it. That's not okay. The admission would become ammunition for Logano's case against NASCAR officiating. It's typical Ross, he just sees red. It's dumb stuff. That's twice this year on road courses that Ross has caused things, Logano continued, referencing previous incidents at Circuit of the Americas and Martinsville. Dale Jr. provided insight into Logano's true motivations. The Hall of Famer explained that Joey didn't actually want Chastain fined by NASCAR. The public admission served a different purpose entirely.
Oh, come on.
It's kind of like the tree falling in the woods.
Yep.
Yeah. It makes a sound, but if nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Was that the question?
Yeah, the only person that claims that he admitted it is Joey.
Yeah. Ross would have to do that publicly, Joey.
Yeah.
And Joey knows that. But Joey doesn't really want him fined. Joey just needed a reason
he was
to
mad.
publicly say he admitted wrecking me.
So then when I get him back later, it's like, I'm not being the bad guy.
I don't think there's...
Joey just wants you to know. Joey just wants us to know that Ross admitted to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Joey doesn't care if he gets fined. But Joey just wants us to know that Ross came up to him personally and admitted it. And somehow that might make Joey feel better about it.
Do you think...
Junior's analysis revealed the strategic nature of Logano's response. This wasn't about immediate punishment. This was about setting the stage for future payback. Dale Earnhardt Jr. then made a prediction that sent chills through the NASCAR garage.
At some point, it might be a year from now, it might be, at some point, and we might not even notice or recognize it, but Joey will, something will happen somewhere at a racetrack, and it might just be, it might just be Joey air blocking Ross and cost him a few spots on a restart.
Might not be a wreck. It might just be, I'm going to run you hard.
Yeah, it
dirty
might be
a little
something
bit.
that.
In NASCAR, revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's calculated, quiet, and cold. And Ross Chastain after Chicago might have just guaranteed himself a taste of it. The Chicago incident wasn't isolated. Chastain and Logano had been building tension throughout the 2025 season. Their first skirmish occurred at Circuit of the Americas, where Chastain clipped Chase Elliott on the opening lap, triggering a 6-car pileup. Dale Jr. criticized Chastain's post-race behavior at Coty. It looks a little chickenish, and he didn't care what the optics looked like. He didn't care if it looked like he was being a wuss about it. And then after the race, I guess he didn't have a comment. The Martinsville incident added fuel to the fire. Chastain's late race block intended for Chase Briscoe inadvertently collected Logano, prompting the Penske driver's infamous assessment, "He just races like a jacka every week, and I keep paying the price, and I'm sick of paying the price." Denny Hamlin entered the conversation with his own scathing criticism, not of Chastain, but of NASCAR itself. The JGR veteran called out the sanctioning body's inconsistent penalty enforcement. Hamlin stated this on his Actions Detrimental podcast.
So do you think NASCAR will come down on him at all?
No.
Or would you like to see that?
No, I don't think they will.
But would you
They
like to
just-
see...
They won't. They don't do that. Unless it's me. Inconsistencies is the only consistency we have.
Bubba and Bowman.
Hamlin's frustration stemmed from personal experience. He had faced penalties for similar incidents while watching Chastain escape punishment. The double standard was glaring. On the Chicago incident specifically, Hamlin sided firmly with Logano. Hamlin continued his support.
In my opinion, Ross has done this to other cars, where he's gone in and just wiped out 3 or 4 of them. Do you believe that in that next corner you deserve to get just cleaned out under his rule of karma? That you would say yes. Yeah, sure I do. I deserve to get wiped out. Unfortunately, you can't involve other people that have nothing to do with it. And, not understanding where that hit came from, especially on a road course. You got to know there's 10 cars you saw it was a restart. This wreck could have came from 8 cars back. You just don't know. You got to get the information before you rage wreck.
Steve Letarte, former crew chief and Hendrick Motorsports figure, provided additional perspective on the situation. Speaking on his Inside the Race podcast, Letarte called both drivers alpha racers, cut from the same cloth. "If I'm Chastain, I'm calling Joey Logano this week taking my butt chewing," Letarte recommended. The NASCAR insider highlighted the bigger picture for Trackhouse Racing. The team couldn't afford to have Joey Logano and the entire Penske organization working against them. Poking a 3-time Cup champion wasn't smart business. TJ Majors offered a different perspective during his appearance on the Dale Jr. Download. The former NASCAR personality expressed nostalgia for Chastain's earlier career. "I miss old Ross. Ross used to really stir the pot up pretty good," Majors reflected. Dale Earnhardt Jr. agreed with the sentiment. The current version of Chastain seemed to create problems without the entertaining aspects that made him compelling earlier in his career. The Chicago weekend highlighted broader safety issues beyond the Chastain-Logano incident. Cody Ware's violent crash into the tire barrier at Turn 6 exposed dangerous flaws in NASCAR's response protocols. Ware hit the barrier at 93 miles per hour. His radio call was desperate. "Need help." NASCAR waited 35 seconds before throwing the caution flag. Shane Van Gisbergen had already taken the white flag, effectively ending the race. Dale Jr. criticized the delayed response.
My problem is we absolutely should have known the minute he hit that wall that he hit it at 100 mile an hour, and it was violent and it was scary, and it was a matter of how quick can that person get on the button to NASCAR to the tower and say
Hard wreck.
Like he's not moving.
Yeah,
out of this tire barrier.
And then that quickly, gives them the opportunity to throw the yellow.
Crew Chief Tommy Baldwin called Ware's impact probably the worst hit of the next-gen era. The delayed caution raised serious questions about NASCAR's safety protocols. The Chicago Street Course completed its 3-year contract in 2025. NASCAR is eyeing San Diego as a potential replacement, but Dale Jr. advocated for flexibility in the schedule.
But if they said tomorrow, there's a new 2-year deal or a new 3-year deal, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Me neither.
The race itself is entertaining as
Absolutely.
The guys, they have a really challenging time with that racetrack, and I feel like, honestly, it's not like the more they run, the less trouble they have.
Junior suggested both cities could coexist.
I agree. I'm just
it had everything.
It did. It really did. So I don't know if they'll go back. I hear that San Diego is going to take its place. There'll be a street course in San Diego of some type, and that is what will take Chicago's place. But
I read an article that there was a 2-year option. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that Chicago can't still exist. Maybe Mexico City goes away and Chicago shifts to a different part of the schedule. I don't know, but I think there's a potential where you could see us racing at Chicago and San Diego for sure. There's a world where that exists.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I don't think that they're adding another road course. I think it's like, all right, there's we're limited. How many do we got? 6?